Yo, it's Friday, May 6th. Boy, it's almost wheels up time. But today we're going to talk about a little bit of FaceTime customer service and Ford taking a shot, a little trolling at Elon Musk.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I am.
You know what? Everybody can do a good-natured troll every once in a while.
You got to troll every once in a while, and it's the best kind of marketing, in my opinion. It's like it's taking just a piece of what Wendy's does and executing it, right?
I like how you
just a wee bit of piece. Not everybody can be Wendy's, but when you can pull just a little bit of what Wendy's does down,
Wendy's, Taco Bell, yeah, it's the good stuff. So look, we're only a couple of days at this point from the Remix event, Digital Dealer. We're about to be wheels up and going to be boots on the ground on Monday. And look, tickets. We surpassed last year's ticket total yesterday. So yesterday it was like we have tickets left because fortunately we planned ahead. Right?
We got more space and more food.
More space,
good.
More food, more drinks, more giveaways, more guests, more fun. So Monday, May 9th, if you haven't gotten your tickets, look, we already surpassed last year's number yesterday. It's ramping up pretty quickly, and I think we probably will sell out even though we doubled capacity.
Absolutely.
Because you know what's going to happen?
Bring all your friends. Come on.
You know, we're going to start getting those text messages when it sells out.
Yes.
It's going to be like, hey, man, I meant to do it. But I didn't do it. So look, if you are going to be there, make sure that you register your ticket today. If you have a dealer or dealer personnel, let them know that they get in free thanks to our friends at AutoFi. Go to ASOTU.com, banner at the top, click on it, register your tickets. We'll see you there. Also, coming up in just a little bit, if you're watching the live stream on Friday morning, is the All Things Used Car Room run by David Long and so many smart people. It is literally.
I don't care if you're there on time or you're not there on time. You should be downloading the Clubhouse app and listening back to that every week. It's so good, and there should be thousands of automotive personnel listening to that every single week. It just should happen.
Without a doubt. I can't think of one area where you get more meaningful interaction with real-time practitioners in one place at one time anywhere in automotive. Literally nowhere. So
and David Spizak and Brian Benstock are coming, so you know it's going to get fiery.
Yes, today it's preparing for the hurricane warning. So there's a lot of indicators saying things are about to get real sporty. We're going to talk about them in the room, and you're going to have some real experts leading you through. So don't miss that room. I'm going to talk about a little news. A little breaking news, kind of ish. But we're going to kind of give a little overview in today some of the stuff we're seeing. I came across a FaceTime-like roadside assistance that BMW drivers can have.
It's smart.
It is pretty awesome. Like, you know what it's like when you have car trouble. It is one of the most unnerving situations. Now, a lot of us on this podcast, in this community, right, we know a little bit more about cars because we spend time around them. We spend time fixing them, spend time in service, dealing with complaints. But look, most consumers are like, I don't know. I put gas in it.
Right? Exactly. I mean, I was that way for most of my life, for sure.
And so this service, they partnered with a software company, Blitzz, Blitzz, who isn't just an automotive. They also work with companies like FedEx and Safelite, Sealy, the mattress company, like to help customer service happen. Basically, they partner with BMW. So you have a little issue and you can call on the number. Then they text you a link. You tap on the link and all of a sudden you're on a FaceTime call. You can see a person that's there with you then, right? Somebody that knows what they're doing. You know what that feeling's like? It's like, you know, when like
humanizing the experience. I'm telling you what, like, that's what people need. They don't need, like, text works great. Email works great. You know, making the phone call works great. But what works really, really good is engaging people with facial expressions and learning from having that engagement. That's why so many people enjoy a Zoom call over just a phone call, right? Because it's a way to have a deeper meeting with someone. And this is just like that real-time anxiety-ridden space that you get to enter into and have like a company's entering into that anxiety-ridden space and hopefully quelling that anxiety.
So in the article we reference in the show notes, they mentioned one scenario where a BMW driver's low coolant light came on, right? So they pulled over like, oh my gosh, what do I do? The person shows up right on the screen. Okay, Mr. Miss whoever, great. Oh, what's going? Show me the light, right? Show them the light. And now you feel like when that happens, you feel like, all right, somebody's got this and it isn't me, right? It's somebody else. literally walked the guy through the aisle at the parts store. He was FaceTiming him. Should I get this one? No. He's like, no, you want to get that coolant,
No way.
right? Bought that, showed him how to put it in the vehicle, right? Nope, this way, that way. And like another one they mentioned, like someone didn't know how to charge, like plug in the port. And so literally the person sends them, is like showing them on their screen, like drawing a little circle around, like, hey, you want to plug it in right there. And I'm just like, boy, I can't believe it's been this long for this to come up.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that I feel like dealers could execute on pretty quickly. Like have
during service. Yes.
Done.
Yes.
Right. I mean, minimum viable product here is sending everyone a video of what's happening in service. But
right.
What if the technician actually interacted with that person? Holy cow.
Yep. I mean, I've heard some things of that coming, like using like, the Ray-Ban, the Facebook Ray-Bans and special glasses where now the technician's under the car. So that's coming, a real takeaway behind that is like the human element of empathy, right, is much better expressed visually than via words, right? I can't imagine how many fights actually happen because someone misinterpreted a text.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
You never
what
text
do you mean
that
by
person
that?
again, and it's like,
exactly,
no, it wasn't that big of a deal.
So I guess the point is really knowing when is the best time to use whatever method of communication. Like sometimes when you're talking about numbers, a lot of times people don't want to be face-to-face, right? It can be uncomfortable. It's a lot easier to text. Would you take X amount of money? Like, is this price good? That kind of thing. People probably prefer text. When they're in some level of like duress or there's some questions, to know that there's an empathetic human on the other side, read the body language. I think it's better for everybody.
So good.
So speaking, I don't have a speaking. I was going to say reading body language. It doesn't really work. I just want to hit the segue button.
It doesn't work. But this one's fun. This one's just fun. I am so proud of Ford because they've come out with a commercial that is celebrating the workforce of like the manufacturer and just trolling Elon Musk like crazy. And look, whether you love Elon or you hate Elon,
or you're indifferent, it doesn't have to be either or. You could be undecided.
Throwing down the gauntlet on some sort of like really passionate, really, really ingrained, like deep feeling American feel video. So good. So
tapping in here, we're going to play it for you. So here is the 1 minute commercial. The agency Wyden and Kennedy, and they make a ton of stuff that you've seen all over the place. They produced the commercial, and we're going to roll it for you. Then we'll talk about it for a minute. So let's roll it.
Right now, it could seem like the only people who matter are the loudest. Those who want to tear things down and then fly away on their own personal spaceships when things get hard. But we've got 182,000 people. And they're building big things, new things, things that will change the way we do things, assembling more vehicles in the U.S. than any other automaker thinks. $50 billion committed to electric vehicle things. And you might not know their names, but these people get up every day working together to move us all forward.
All right, that's the Ford commercial. Here's the line, right? Here's the troll. If you missed it in the beginning, right now it would seem that only people who matter are the loudest. Those who want to tear things down and then fly away on their own personal spaceships when things get harder.
Strong. But I love that the selling proposition is the people. We keep saying this to dealers, industry partners, all of this type of stuff. It's like, well, what makes you unique? And every time it's like, well, we do this, this, and this, or our technology does this or enables this. It's like, no, there's like hundreds of thousands of other people that can say that, but they don't have Sue in accounting, right?
Right.
They don't have
Sue in accounting.
I love Sue in accounting. She's incredible, right? They don't have Bob at the sales tower, right? And that's unique, right? And how those people come together to form community. That's what Ford is saying. It's like, these are the people that are doing this. Like, yes, we've invested a bunch of money. Yes, the electric vehicles are happening, but the emphasis is on the unique selling proposition, which is we believe in the people of America doing this. Wow. Come on now.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I mean, we're going to let it slide that the whole platform that they're building their future on happens to be the one that Elon Musk developed and brought to the mass market. We'll let that one slide because, everyone can always say something.
And we'll also let it slide that they've kind of like taken some knocks at the dealers and may or may not have an invoice price the same as MSRP on a new electric vehicle. Like those things, we still got a little bit of gripe. But
because a lot more people work at the dealerships than at the factory.
There it is.
We're gonna say it. But we're trying
right now. We'll let
it out. We're working it out in real time. It's because everyone's waiting to see what we'll let slide and what we won't let slide.
Right. That's everyone's pins and needles.
So here's our takeaway. Look, every store, every dealership has a differentiator, right? Ford took their differentiator and they put it front and center and they said, this is why we matter. Contextualized to America, contextualized to the working man and woman, right? So what we're saying is like, hey, you find the most relevant thing about your stores and talk about those. You have a lot of competitors too, right? So put the differentiator out front. People are seeing a lot of stuff, right? They're seeing a lot of stuff, seeing a lot of information. You need to have the differentiator that breaks through the noise. Speaking of having a lot of stuff going on.
Stop. Segue.
Time. There we go.
I'll take it.
Wall Street Journal article came out this week talking about overcoming multitasking's impact on your already busy brain. This is relevant to everyone listening or watching or reading the transcript of this podcast. They're saying media multitasking specifically, right? So if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this live stream and you have another video going or you're surfing the internet, right? That's what you're doing. They're saying it's actually making you less productive, not more productive. You've heard nuances of this before. I have anyway. The neuroscientists who are, paying attention to this stuff say nonstop toggling between devices and apps slows our ability to process and retain information, decreases our ability to filter out extraneous information, shortens our attention span, and causes us to make more mistakes.
You know what? I remember this Brain Games episode, and I love Brain Games.
No,
I
it's
used to
awesome.
watch it a ton, right?
That's a great show.
And there's this episode where they actually prove it is legitimately impossible for your brain to multitask.
To do two things at once.
So actually what you're doing is when you're attempting to quote unquote multitask is context switching every few seconds because your brain is going from this to that, from this to that. And context switching is one of the hardest things on your brain. I mean, we deal with this all the time. We've got multiple things in the air. We're trying to keep the plate spinning, right? And we do a good job and we have people executing on all those things. But the more that you context switch, the things get dropped. Intention and focus on the things that are most valuable is hard, right? And
Absolutely.
So making the inroads to align yourself with the thing that you're doing right now and focus on it is so important.
So Carl Marcy, a psychiatrist in Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, he's researched this extensively. He says in 2002, a study showed Americans consume 40 hours of media a week. Well, in 2022, guess what? It is 80 hours of media a week. 2 full-time jobs worth of media consumption per week for every American adult. And it's your prefrontal cortex that handles this switching back and forth. Oh, it's true. It handles the switching that you were just talking about. And all of that, it literally, some of the tests in this article, it's linked up. You can read it. Like sentence comprehension, people couldn't comprehend. It was like 7 words versus like 4 words to the people that were doing a lot of switching. It's pretty impressive. First of all, and another disturbing thing is that the prefrontal cortex isn't developed fully until you're 25. So kids and 15-second videos, my kids, I see them doing it, right? There's a TV show on and they're scrolling, right? Really bad. Even leisure activity is bad to have 2 things going on at once. So they gave us some suggestions to mitigate. We'll end with some suggestions. Number 1, block out focus time. I know that seems very simple. And in this world where we're all running fast in the dealership world and the industry partner world, blocking out focus time to work on something. One practical thing, setting expectations for offline, letting everyone else know when you'll be offline. So if you don't feel like you need your device, is really practical. Leaving your phone in another room. I know it can feel weird, but they're like, even if you say, hey, I'm going to watch a movie for 2 hours, leave the phone in a different room, because even when that phone's buzzing and you're watching Star Wars, because yesterday was May the 4th or 2 days ago, guess what? It's bad for your brain. It's ruining your short-term memory. And teach kids good habits early. I know you weren't expecting such a great lesson on a Friday.
Such good stuff.
Look, I feel it every day. Like I do feel like, because I'm doing more than ever at the same time, I can totally feel like my memory is suffering. Like, what's it? What
was
that
I
guy's
supposed
name?
to do? Yes,
Who's it?
no doubt.
Who's it? Was it? So that's all we got for Friday. We got one day to sell tomorrow. Maybe some of you have 2 days, but either way, we're going to be on our way to Tampa. We can't wait to see you there. Enjoy your weekend. Get out, enjoy some sunshine, and get ready to join us next week. Digital Dealers coming in.